a leak in the bathroom. Water is coming through my ceiling. It's dripping right onto my sports page. Jack watched in slow-motion horror as the center of his sofa began to dimple. My masterpiece. It's falling. Forget your custard. My crossword is a puddle, Stanley shouted, heading for the bathroom. In the ensuing chaos, Stanley wrestling with a pipe, Larry trying to sell Stanley a water-resistant car, and Chrissy trying to rescue the sofa with a bicycle pump, Jack realized something. Perfection was an impossible goal in a house shared with 3 other people, and a landlord who lived in a state of constant plumbing-related panic. He ended up serving the fallen sofa to his instructor the next day as a new age sunken delight. Surprisingly, the instructor loved the experimental texture. Chapter 11, The Bird Watcher of 107. Stanley Roper had a new hobby. It started when he found an old pair of binoculars in the basement. He told Helen he was monitoring the local avian population, but Helen knew better. Stanley, the only bird you're interested in is that blonde who just moved into 105, Helen said, adjusting her silk robe. I'm looking for the lesser spotted warbler. Helen, it's a scientific pursuit, Stanley insisted, though the binoculars were currently pointed squarely at the balcony of apartment 201. Upstairs, the trio was beginning to feel the heat. I can't even change my mind without Roper knowing about it, Chrissy complained, pulling the blinds shut. I saw the sun glinting off his lenses while I was doing my morning stretches. Jack, ever the strategist, decided to give Stanley a show he wouldn't forget. He enlisted Jeanne and Chrissy to help him stage a dramatic ritual. They dressed in blankets, lit a dozen candles, and began chanting nonsense while Jack danced around a giant pineapple. Downstairs, Stanley's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Helen, come quick. The kids are joining a cult. They're worshiping a fruit. Helen walked over, took one look through the binoculars, and started laughing. Stanley, they're not in a cult. They're just bored of you watching them. Stanley sheepishly put the binoculars away. For the next week, he was remarkably well behaved, mostly because he was afraid the pineapple god might curse his plumbing. Chapter 12. A Night at the Beagle. The Regal Beagle was the social heart of Santa Monica. It was a place of dark wood, dim lighting, and the constant hope of a romantic connection. On Friday night, the trio decided to treat themselves to a night out. Jack was in his element, wearing a shirt with a collar so wide it could have served as a hang glider. Okay, girls, the plan is simple. I'm the mysterious international playboy. You're my too glamorous bodyguards. Why are we the bodyguards? Jeanne asked, sipping her drink. Because if I'm with two beautiful women, other guys will stay away, and I'll look more exclusive, Jack explained with a wink. The plan worked a little too well. A very large, very intense man approached the table. He didn't look like he wanted to buy a drink. He looked like he wanted to hire Jack. I hear you're the best in the business, the man growled. I need protection for a sensitive delivery. Jack's smile faltered. Oh, well, you see, I'm more of a freelance bodyguard, very high-end, very busy. I'll pay double, the man said. Jean nudged Jack. Go on, bodyguard. Show him your moves. Jack spent the next hour trying to look tough while accidentally knocking over 3 glasses of beer and nearly tripping over his own platform shoes. Eventually, the man realized Jack was about as dangerous as a wet noodle and left in disgust. So much for the mysterious playboy. Chrissy laughed. Hey, it's not easy being a hero, Jack said, straightening his collar, especially when you're wearing shoes that are basically stilts. As they walked home along the beach, the laughter of the night echoed against the sound of the waves. They were broke, they were ridiculous, and they were the best of friends. Chapter 13, The Fitness Fiasco. The trend of aerobic exercise had finally hit apartment 201, and it had hit it hard. Chrissy had purchased a buns of iron workout tape and a set of neon pink leg warmers that could be seen from space. 5, 6, 7, and kick, Chrissy shouted, her ponytail whipping around as she bounced in the middle of the living room. Jack, trying to read a textbook on sauce reduction, was finding it impossible to concentrate. Every time Chrissy kicked, the entire floor shook, and a small puff of dust would drift down from the ceiling in the Ropers' apartment below. Chrissy, if you don't stop, Stanley is going to come up here with a sledgehammer, Jack warned. I have to get in shape. Jack, Mr. Rogers said if I don't speed up my filing, he'll replace me with a machine. Chrissy panted. I didn't know filing was an Olympic sport, Jana remarked, coming in with a fresh bouquet of daisies. Suddenly, a rhythmic thumping started from below. Thump, thump, thump. See, that's Stanley, Jack said. But it wasn't a protest. A few minutes later, the door flew open, and Stanley appeared not with a sledgehammer, but in a pair of baggy sweatpants and a headband that said disco. I heard the music. Stanley announced, Helen says I'm getting soft. I'm here to join the class. Jack stared at his landlord. Mr. Roper, this is, well, it's an advanced class. I can handle it. I used to be a physical education major for 2 weeks in 1941. Stanley boasted. What followed was 20 minutes of pure comedy. Stanley trying to do a grapevine resulted in him accidentally knocking over a lamp and nearly doing a split that would have required medical intervention. Jack, seeing an opportunity, started charging Larry Dallas $5 to watch from the doorway. He looks like a penguin in a blender, Larry whispered, handing Jack a 5 spot. The class ended when Helen came up to fetch Stanley for dinner. Stanley, you're not exercising, you're vibrating. Come home before you rattle your teeth out. Chapter 14, The Millionaire's Flower. Jana arrived home one evening looking like she'd just won the lottery. You won't believe it. A man came into the shop today and ordered $10,000 worth of rare orchids. $10,000. Jack gasped. Is he a prince? He said his name is Mr. Montgomery. He's very mysterious, very wealthy, and he wants me to personally deliver them to his estate. Shauna said, her eyes sparkling. Jack's